Oh!
It's r2youtube.com. That's R, number 2, youtube.com, and tell them Velvet sent you. Oh, yeah.
Let's go it down! This is Rasslin Rage! Do it now! This is Rasslin Rage! Scream it out loud! This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade!
Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Cody from Rasslin Rage, and joining me tonight is the Detroit-style wrestling champion, the Dread King Logan. Before we start asking him any questions, make sure you smash the thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to Rasslin Rage. Upload days are Mondays and Wednesdays, and you can always catch the live show on Fridays at 8 o'clock. So, Dread King Logan, thank you so much for coming on Rasslin Rage today.
You are very welcome, sir.
Thank you. So, I want to take you back a little bit to like your, in the beginning of your career. Tell us a little bit about coming into the business. Talk about your training. Where did you start? Who trained you? And a little bit like, first match and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, when I first started wrestling, I was doing what people shouldn't do, and that's do it untrained. So then I went and sought out a gentleman named Judas Coltrane, who's a good friend of mine, and we trained with him for a little bit, me and Scotty Freytown. And then from there, a man named Levi Blue, who's very popular in the Michigan scene, saw great potential in me, and he took me under his wing and trained me. And then Mike Blackwell at BCWA, he also saw potential in me, and he took a handful of guys that he trusted and brought Briar Wellington in. And then Briar Wellington basically polished me off and finished my training. And you can probably see when I wrestle some of the Briar Wellington aspects in there.
Right, yeah, for sure. And he's been on the show, and he's a good guy too. So you train, and so that's a lot of different people. So there's like a different. You got a little piece of everything in there, I would think, right?
You can never stop learning, man. You
right.
Gotta take pieces from everyone and create who you are.
Well, I mean, so you're still training, obviously. So there's more to it than just getting in the ring. I mean, you gotta get the look, you gotta eat right, you gotta do those things. So take us through like a basic day. Are you on like a different kind of diet? Do you work out? What are you doing for training?
So I'll give you some background on me, man. I put weight on really easily. Before I came back to wrestling, I weighed almost 290 pounds.
Okay.
And I was like, if I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this, I need to hit the gym. So I went to the gym and I started busting my ass. And I don't know if we can swear.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I started busting my ass and I shredded about 70 pounds and put on just a stack load of muscle because I knew my potential. I knew how good I would be. And so now basically my lifestyle is this. I wake up in the morning, I eat 6 ounces of steak, 4 eggs. Then
Holy smokes.
4 hours later, I eat a protein shake. Then 4 hours later, I eat salmon and rice and vegetables. And then 4 hours later, or 2 hours later, if I'm still hungry, I'll eat another 6 ounces of steak. I'll throw salmon in there.
That's a king's meal right there, is what
that
is.
Oh, always, man. I eat for more than 3 people. I'll tell you that.
Wow. So let's go back again. Your first matches. So you go through all this training. You're ready to start competing. You get in the ring. Do you remember who it was against?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about your first match.
Have you heard of a gentleman named Jarek 120?
Yes, I have.
That was my first match after being trained.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I watched him wrestle in Evolve.
Yeah, he's a great talent.
Yeah.
Him and I used to wrestle as the Dark Star Logan at BCWA.
Okay.
So him and I did a run there when I came back where he basically was stalking me and was in my house, stalking my family, wanted to be me. And we finally finished off our run with a key on the pole match where my girlfriend, who now is future wife, was chained to the pole, and whoever got the key down
Oh Lord.
got to keep my who is wife,
Oh wow.
and I got the key down.
Sweet. Now,
Yeah.
so that's a story. That's one of those things you get to tell. My first match. This is what happened. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I'll tell you that I don't remember my first match. It was so long ago.
Right. Well, so how long ago was it?
That's got to be at least 10 years.
10 years ago?
Maybe between 8 and 10. Yeah.
Okay, so going back, to my understanding, you took a little bit of a break.
I did, yes.
You took a little bit of a break, and then you came back. You don't mind me asking what was the break for?
I just got tired of it.
Yeah.
I got tired of politics and
A lot of that.
I just got worn out and beat down, and I actually got a really strong distaste in my mouth for wrestling. I didn't watch it. I didn't care about it. I just needed time, and I think that 5-year break I took re-educated and reopened my eyes to what I was missing out on.
Okay, you reopened your passion for the business a little bit.
Absolutely, bro.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with taking a break. Sometimes that's what everybody needs in anything for life. I wish I could just turn it off sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So you're working the independents in Michigan now, and you've worked for I've seen you in a couple different ones here in Michigan. Are there any other states that you're working in? And if there's not, are there states that you want to work in, or maybe another country? What's going on with that?
So the way I look at it is I am the Dread King, and I am the king of the world, and I need to get out into the world more. Right now, I'm working on. I'm gonna get my passport ordered. I'd like to get over to the UK.
For sure.
I am a British wrestling fanatic. I love British wrestling. I'd like to get over to the UK, Japan. Hell, I'd like to just get over to Ohio.
Right.
I'm thinking big picture, but I'm gonna start small. I'm just gonna try to jump around states outside, around.
Right.
But
for
right
sure.
now, I'm a Michigan guy, and I'm working on moving out.
Yeah.
I've only been back about a year now, so I figured I would get my foundation here in Michigan, and then work my way out slowly.
Right, for sure. Well, there's a lot of good promotions all over right now, so you definitely came back at the right time. That's for sure. Speaking of that, so the independents right now, they're hot, real hot. Everything, wrestling in general is hot all the way across the board, and it doesn't matter if you like WWE or you like independence or whatever you like. There's something for everybody. Deathmatch wrestling, whatever. There's something for everybody everywhere. I want to ask you, what do you think that the independents are doing right now that's making it so great, that making the independent scene that hot right now?
Yeah, that's to me, I think it's the fact that they don't put rules on themselves.
Okay.
You can go in a ring and pretty much do anything on the independents and try to get it over if you do it right.
Right.
If you go to the big leagues, they got too many rules with TV. They got too many rules for the guys to follow.
Right.
But they're set there for a reason.
Right.
But on the independent scene, you can just basically do anything.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, is I can go out in that ring and I can break a guy's finger the entire match.
For sure.
Now, get it over.
Right. So, we talked a little bit about, 10 years ago, right? You took you did your thing, you took your break, you come back. What's different with you working in the independents as the Dread King Logan? What's different about you from 10 years ago till now? Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. I think the thing that's different about me now is throughout those years I took off, I got to really find me, who I was as a person. I mean, when you see the Dread King Logan out there, it's just an elevated version of how I feel day to day on certain things. Well, when I'm screaming at people and stuff, I can't do that to normal people on the street.
Don't you wish you could, though?
In a home.
Yeah.
But when I'm out in the ring, I can just get my true emotions out and how I feel about a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
It's just I have a lot of sorrow and anger inside, and I need to find a way to channel that shit. Right. And if you want to step in the ring and let me take that out on you, thank you.
I like
thank
that.
you.
That's awesome. For sure.
Be your
Now,
ass.
so is there something in wrestling? So 10 years, you take a break. Obviously, there's something you want to do. You came back. So is there something you haven't done that you do want to do in the professional wrestling business?
Huh. So when I came back, just a short story, I wrote a big dry erase board with a ton of goals on it. One was invited to a show, simple stuff, win a
Right.
title. Something. So far, I've been checking and checking and checking. And I'm not gloating, kind of, though, because I'm the king. But I think right now, the small things for me is to get out of state. I would like to wrestle specific people. I have specific people on my list now, my hit list, my
Right.
king list. I would love to, there's a whole handful of guys I'd like to really work with. I'd like to get to Ohio, Indiana. I'd love to get out to New York, Chicago, places like those,
For sure.
Right now, though, I'm just kind of, this will sum me up really easily. I listened to a podcast with Aleister Black, and Aleister Black was talking about how when he was in the business, when he'd meet a goal, he would say, well, if this is the best it gets, then I'm going to make it the best it can be at this moment. And
Right.
if something else comes, then that'll be the best it gets, and I'll never set my expectations too high than what I can reach. So as things come my way, if this is the best it gets, I'm going to ride this lightning until the end. But if something else comes and I get another bolt, then I'm going to ride that bolt too.
There you go. I like it. That's a good way to look at it. So you're the current DSW champion. Okay.
Yep,
You
I
defeated RoughHouse Rob. Now that was at XICW Proving Ground.
That was.
I was there, by the way. I was also there when you had your tag match with him and Sandman there. Now you were supposed to face Rob in a rematch this past weekend,
Right.
and apparently he retired. I'm not sure if it was kind of left open ended. He retired, maybe, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how it went down, but what's your thoughts on that? Specifically, RoughHouse Rob stepping off to the side for your match, for his rematch, I guess you could say.
Hey, listen, if Rob doesn't want to be a man to step in the ring with me, that's fine. I'll take on any comers who want to challenge the Dread King for his DSW World Heavyweight title.
Right.
If anybody wants to step in the ring with me, they know what I can do. I'm not scared of any man, big, small, I don't care. I will drop them on their ass and then I'll tap them out.
Good. So he retires. They throw you in a match with MM3 right in the beginning. Like I don't know. You walk in the door. Next thing you know, you're thrown in a match with MM3. Yeah. Great match, by the way. You're welcome. You retain the title. It seems to be a lot of craziness going on right now in DSW. Not specifically surrounding you, but the organization in itself. I mean, there's people turning on groups, and I don't even know what's going on right now. My mind is blown. Far as it's concerned with the Dread King Logan, because that's all that really matters, right?
Right. At least you get it.
Right. Where does Dread King Logan stand in Detroit style wrestling?
On top. Where else?
On
do you
top.
think?
There you go. Okay.
I am the DSW heavyweight champion of the world. Of the world. Do you notice I always emphasize that?
Yes, sir.
Because I am the king of the world. No one is the king of the world but me. And I'll prove it every time.
Yes, sir. Well,
thanks, sir. So now you're learning your place. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. I'm one of the peasants. I'm right there, buddy.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Now, let's talk about another promotion. I'm getting a lot of questions. Now, there's a family that I know that goes to a bunch of different shows, BCWA, Detroit style, all over the place. They're the Worth family. Big shout out to the Worth family. Now, the husband is a Justin Maine fan, and she happens to be a Dread King Logan fan. So there's a split there, right? There's a split there. So I want to ask you a little bit about BCWA. I watched the match today with you and Orlando Christopher, but there's a lot of questions around the aftermath that happened So break down what happened between you and Maine after the match with Orlando Christopher.
Justin Maine has some stupid vendetta against me. This wannabe Hollywood celebrity thinks he can push around and dictate how I kick the crap out of Orlando Christopher during a match. And then he has the audacity to cut his ass free after I tie him up and interfere in my match.
Right.
Why wouldn't I turn Justin around and smack him upside his stupid head?
Well,
Parts in the boy.
Yeah, you dropped him on his head pretty good because he went flying in the air real good too. I seen that. Woohoo!
Oh, you want to know why? Because his fucking head is full of helium. There's nothing in there.
So, Carrie, she's messaging me. She wants to ask a couple. This is the first time I've ever done this where I've had somebody message me with a question.
Bring it on.
So it sounds Dread King Logan's pretty popular here. So we already answered that, but what is your motivation in wrestling? What's your motivation? What makes the Dread King Logan? What motivates him?
Hurting people.
Being
the best.
Very good.
Being top. Letting you all bask in my greatness and feel my power.
For sure.
What else would be my motivation?
Yes. All right. Well, so we're towards the end of the interview here. I want to say, now I asked you just enough questions to where we got to know you and we know a little bit more, but there's still more. There's still enough to where I can come back and ask you more questions.
I left you with just enough answers to have more questions.
There you go. I like it. Before we get out of here, though, why don't you do us a favor and let these people know out there where your social media accounts, your any emails that somebody might need to get a hold of you. Maybe somebody wants to book you and put you on a show, or maybe some of these fans want to get some Dread King Logan merch and what have you. Why don't you drop all that info on the people?
All right, peasants, listen. You can find me on Twitter at the Dread Logan. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at the Dread King Logan. And if you're too big of an idiot to figure that out and just type in Dread King Logan, then you shouldn't be a peasant, you morons.
For sure. Now, listen, guys, I'll put that stuff down in the description. And if you really can't scroll down in the description, then you're a real idiot. I got to tell you that. Moron, idiot, whatever, something. You're something, definitely, for sure. Again, thank you so much, Dread King Logan. I look forward to seeing you again at BCWA or at Detroit Style Wrestling or wherever on else in the state of Michigan and maybe in Ohio sometime in the future. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Make sure you give this a big thumbs up and head on over to his social media and follow him. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day.
We are the Death Road Army. Vehicle City Villain Aaron O'Ryan.
Black Diamond Jack Price.
The Wild Child Jody Threat.
And Weaponized Alex Weir. And you're watching Rasslin Rage live on Friday nights at 8 o'clock on YouTube.